Death Spiral, the only anime podcast that is constantly pumping in a sub 8 hertz tone directly into your brain to stimulate the creative lobes and making you smarter, more creative, more attentive, and a better person simply by listening to our podcast.
I don't think mine's working.
That is what you are paying for, people.
Again, we're talking exclusively to our premium Anime Death Spiral members. Spiral heads? Is that what we're calling them? Torrents? What do we land on? What are we calling our acolytes? Yeah, spinners. Anime Death Spiral spinners. What's up? Shout me out in the comments.
No. God, no. Don't call me. Don't ever call someone that. Yes. I'm sorry. I should mention. Yes, the sub 8 hertz tone is. We only insert that in the premium feed of the show. I wouldn't want to accidentally give anybody who's freeloading off the free feed any kind of cognitive boost. You know, any kind of enhancement to their brainwaves.
No, absolutely not.
If you guys want that shit, either pay us or make it yourself. You know, download Pro Tools or whatever. I don't know.
You know, those brain chips, they're getting cheaper by the day. You know, after COVID ended, there was a surplus of them and the prices have gone way down. You know, you can just get bags and bags of blank brain chips on Amazon for literal pennies at this point.
It's getting cheaper and cheaper to pay a random person to insert metal directly into your brain. We don't call it trepanning anymore because now there are electronics involved.
Yeah, now
it's actually cool.
It's actually cool. Elon Musk is doing it. Therefore, it's that means it's cool. Oh God.
I'm coming up with like a startup that's named after an obscure Lord of the Rings reference that's going to be mostly about discovering different places in the brain to put metal into.
Yeah. No, this is my startup. We're called Balrog, and we are kind of focused on mainlining like the path from people's souls to some kind of vague, indeterminate dimension of punishment beneath the earth. We're looking for investors right now.
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to give you money, but my startup, Dandadan, is sort of subverting the typical super soldier program into like a super 10x programmer program. We're going to take people and turn them into 23-hour-a-day active 10x programmers. Once we can completely remove sleep.
Oh, wait, hold on. Listen, before you buy any stock in us, I do want to be upfront. Balrog did just get acquired by Numenor. We are in the business of sinking whole continents now beneath the ocean. So yeah, no, I think that is that's a promising field. We just had a partnership for our AI with the DoD. Or excuse me, the DOW, the Department
the DOW, yes,
yeah.
The Dow. The Dow, yes. You know, congrats. We were planning over at Do Today. We were planning on naming our future campus the Gray Havens until somebody told me that that's actually like heaven or whatever. Like that's where like they like die and go to like heaven. That was the implication there.
I don't really get it.
I didn't really get it when I was reading the. You know what? Honestly, I'm going to be straight up. I don't really get anything that happened in Lord of the Rings.
I'm gonna be honest. I did not read or watch Lord of the Rings. We had a marketing guy that said that this was a good way to bring in a built-in audience of a bunch of tech nerds in Silicon Valley. Really, I'm just here for the mass surveillance and human misery. That's kind of my main goals here.
I mean, I totally get it. I am 2 steps ahead of you because I have watched the movies and read the books. I just didn't understand any of it. It kind of like washed over me, and I don't really know what happened. I remember swords. I'm really struggling to come up with a second thing.
Aragorn.
Ugly guys. They were ugly guys.
Yeah, really, just
all over the place.
Fields and fields of ugly men in those movies.
Just ugly guys. And then sometimes they were supposed to be the good guys, and I'm like, these guys are just as ugly. I don't get it. They're playing the good guy music, but these guys are also ugly. I don't understand.
Yeah, sorry, Vigo fans. We don't get it.
The Vigo thing was super confusing because where What did they do with all his tattoos? I saw him in Eastern Promises, and he had all the tattoos. Was it CGI? Where did the tattoos go?
I believe, yes, they did CGI the tattoos onto his naked body. But in order to do that, they also had to CGI the rest of his clothes onto his body in that movie. So anytime you're seeing Viggo Mortensen in that film, he's actually on set completely naked, head to toe.
This is infuriating. This is infuriating because I just sold my last startup whose entire business model was CGIing clothes onto nude models to make them acceptable for a wider audience. That was the whole business model.
That's so funny.
I was putting clothes back onto OnlyFans girls. That was the whole model. And you're telling me they were already doing this by hand? I could have made so much more money if I'd gone the Hollywood route. This is ridiculous.
You know, you win some, you lose some, but that's just the game, man. That's just the way it's played.
I got to start reading Deadline. I got to buy a Deadline online full access membership. Deadline's still a thing, right? They haven't died yet?
No, I don't think so. But again, I have no money personally, so I feel like all of this is going over my head to begin with. I'm not the money guy.
Just capital. You're not liquid right now.
Yeah, no, I'm not. Everything's tied up.
Yeah, totally insolvent at the moment because of all the assets.
I own like 4 film studios in Georgia right now, but we're not producing anything. So it's like, what am I even doing with it?
Losing money by the second. Yeah, you know, I've got the Rari in the garage right now, but you know, finding a buyer in this market isn't really great. I'm kind of holding on to it until my Bitcoin investment bounces back.
Yeah, no, I had to downsize my Maserati to a K truck because that's all I can afford now.
Hey, that's thrifty and aesthetic.
You know what? You're
winning on both ends.
To be fair, those little K-frame cars, the trucks and the cars and all those, I love those things. You just zip around in them.
The Cappuccino?
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, the little Suzuki Cappuccino.
Mm-hmm. I feel like here in America, we absolutely need like a resurgence of tiny car aesthetic, right? I think we need like cell phones. You know, first they were getting smaller and then now they're getting all bigger. See who can get the biggest screen. I guess now the screens are folding. That's the next thing. But what I'm saying is that we need a car that is both smaller and can fold up and fit in your pocket.
Honestly, the Suzuki Cappuccino is as close as you're probably ever going to get to a car that can fold up and fit in your pocket.
What does this thing look like? I'm going to look up a picture.
The Suzuki Cappuccino? Oh, they fucking kick ass, dude. You never seen one of these? They're great. They're beautiful. They are a vision of like an alternate future we could have had in America where we weren't driving those horrible little smart cars that are just like toy versions of Fiats. They're 2-seater convertibles, basically. They totally look like sports cars.
No, I'm looking at it. This thing is great. Why don't we have these?
It rocks. It rocks super hard.
It's like a little Matchbox, wind-up car. It's like you just pull it back and it goes forward.
Yeah, it's a little toy car that rocks. It's like a Mazda Miata, but pocket-sized. You can actually, it fits in a carry-on, so you can travel internationally with it.
Okay, for real though,
you should have brought one. You should have brought one back from Japan. They're super cheap over there.
You know what? There's lots of stuff that I wish I could have brought back from Japan, and I guess that is your elegant way of segueing into me talking about my trip.
No, I just sparked that thing because somebody told me recently their coworker was importing a fucking Skyline GTR over to America. The Skyline, you know, very famous street illegal car over here. Very street racing chic. Very famous from various Fast and Furious movies. Beautiful car. Very illegal in America. The height of indulgence to import a car like that. And I was very jealous. The Suzuki Cappuccino, I have to imagine, very street legal. Probably doesn't break 80 miles an hour.
No. This thing looks like an RV car that you control with a little handheld device. No, I would absolutely fuck around with one of these. This is absolutely adorable. And obviously we've been in love with tiny car aesthetics since Castle of Cagliostro, one of the all-time great tiny car chase scenes since the Italian Job.
Yes, the Italian Job, of course. Born Identity, I think. Which one was the car chase in? Was that in Identity? I can't remember.
I think that was Born Identity.
I mean, they're great. They're obviously great. These tiny cars, again, we could have really had something in, but we decided to move into the death machine space. But, this is a problem with Japan. One of the very few problems with, going to the anime Holy Land is there's so much public transportation, you don't have to rent a car.
That is true.
Like you would any American city.
All right. If we want to get into it, let's get into it, because I have some things to say about the Japanese public transit system.
Oh, he's gonna go off.
I'm gonna go off.
He's
buddy.
Gonna fucking go off. He got his 15
I got
minutes
my
on
talking
just
point.
the trains.
I got my Carson 5 ready. No, I'm kidding.
All right,
yes,
you went to the anime Holy Land.
I went to the anime Holy Land, as we talked about the last at the end of last episode. I did the thing that all good nerds dream of. I went to the fountainhead, the spring source. I went to go see Tokyo, the Big Apple.
Tokyo,
the Windy City. I did that. I got back last week, and I had a hell of a time. I mean, obviously, I was on vacation. I'm a big, loud, gluttonous American, and I went and had a grand old time on my own. It was great, but there were some things that stood out to me. First of all, right off the bat, as soon as I got to the airport, I was confronted with a country that is in the throes of like a right-wing societal shift, a downward economic trend, xenophobia at every corner. And this is all before I left Seattle, mind you.
Oh my God. We're gonna start with anti-white racism. This is why they hate us.
It's true. No. Obviously, going through the airport in Tokyo, I flew into Narita Airport, which is the older one of the two major international airports between that and Haneda. Yep. And it definitely set a theme for something that I noticed both on my first time to Japan when I went a few years ago and when I went this time. And I know it's been talked about, but there is a definite sense of stagnation, specifically in architecture and municipal building design that I've noticed.
Oh shit, he's going in on the architecture. Strap in. Here we go.
He's got some spicy takes about the buildings.
Oh shit, what do you think about the roofs?
You know what? Actually, I find that clay tile roofing is incredibly aesthetic, and I like it quite a bit.
Yeah. Shinobis love it.
No, Shinobis, wouldn't they like the thatch roof cottages because it's quieter to run on?
No, you just fall through.
That's true.
Yeah, and you can use the tiles as projectiles.
Now you're talking.
Yeah, throw those motherfuckers.
No, I got there, and the airport feels like it is perpetually in 1985. Both in just the way everything is designed, aesthetic, the carpet. I don't know how to describe what a carpet from 1985 looks and feels like, but I feel like just by saying that we're probably pretty close on the same page. That and the fact everything just kind of feels smoked out. A lot of smoking going on. Not in the airport so much anymore. They got rid of that, but people over in Japan, they love their cigarettes, man. It is still quite an acceptable thing to just do outside in most places, I noticed. No smoking signs, be damned. So, I mean, that was one thing. As far as the public transport goes, man, they have us so cooked.
Yeah.
It's so fucking easy.
Oh, yeah.
It's so fucking easy to get around. And what's the weird thing? The weird thing is that Yes,
Those guys with sticks?
Well, no, you get used to them after a while.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
No, the weird thing is that despite having an incredibly easy to use, like robust public transit system, there's still cars fucking everywhere, man.
Sure.
There's still traffic, like pretty much constantly all day.
Yep.
So to anybody out there who thinks that like investing in public transport and infrastructure is going to somehow take away your freedom to drive a car, that's bullshit.
To not drive a car, to get
Yeah.
stuck in traffic for 30 minutes a day.
Yeah, exactly. You can still do that just fine. In fact, it may even make it better for you.
I just want to be fair, the streets over there are 3 feet wide.
It depends. There's two types of streets. There are the 3 feet wide streets that are, for some reason, still considered a 2-lane road. And there are the like 8-lane wide major thoroughfares. It's like they decided like, all right, we need a road to get from here to here as quick as possible. We're just going to carve out a giant river of the city and put one here. That was interesting. Like, I stayed in Shinjuku most of the time. I stayed in Shinjuku, and then I went to Osaka and stayed in the Namba district down there.
Sure.
And in both places, there's like I said, there's these two types of roads mainly. There's the small roads that people just walk on, and like you think that it's just a footpath, like you assume that it's just a pedestrian road, right?
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, you're walking under like these big mile-long covered shopping streets, and a fucking K car will just be weaving around people in the middle of what you thought was a sidewalk, and it's like, I guess technically this is a car road. Oh yeah, no, look, there's a traffic light. What's that doing here?
Oh, I've been to Paris a few times. I know how this goes.
Yeah.
Especially the guy who's driving a car that does not fit on the road, but he is just determined. No matter how much damage the car or pedestrians may incur.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I've seen it.
In this case, I encountered a couple times, usually in early morning, but the tiny garbage trucks that they have that just run around like the streets in Shinjuku, picking up all of the, let's be honest, completely tourist generated trash and just filling it up is quite bizarre. It's like you think it's like a toy almost at first, like one of those little electric cars that you give like a 5-year-old that they zoom around in the driveway in. It's like someone just shot a shrink ray at like a regular American sized garbage truck and made it like a third of the size that it is, so that it's got like a tiny like 1-person cab and this like tiny trash compactor at the back that you can just like you could like lay down in. It's very funny to see. So just kind of seeing the workings of how like a tourist district like that kind of operates is always interesting. I will say the biggest snag that I had using the trains was the fact that they have and this is specifically when I'm referring to the Shinkansen, the bullet train that I took from Tokyo to Osaka. They have a weird reliance still on physical tickets. And when I bought my Shinkansen ticket from the vending machine down to Osaka, I was absolutely baffled at first because I ordered one unreserved seat on the train down there, and it spat out like 5 different like CVS receipt length tickets of stuff that I had to like parse through. It turns out that it gave me 3 separate receipts. It gave me a receipt for like the train fare and a separate receipt for paying with a credit card and a third receipt showing that I bought an express fare ticket. And then it gave me the actual fare ticket and then the express ticket. These are two separate physical tickets. And they do not explain very well that when you go through the turnstile, you have to feed both of the fare ticket and the express fare ticket into the machine at the same time, not one after the other. Otherwise, the guy with the stick comes over and he's very pissed at you that he has to open up the turnstile and give you your ticket back and make you like very angrily explain to you in broken English that you have to put them in both at the same time. And by that time, there's a line forming behind you. People are starting to give you ugly looks, and you're like, you just want to get out of there to eat your goddamn fried chicken box set that you got to have on the train. And, then you drop your can of Boss coffee, and it spills all over the floor, and you have to, like, go to the bathroom and get a bunch of paper towels to like clean it up. And then you realize you have a bunch of paper towels that are soaked in coffee and there's no public trash cans anywhere because of the goddamn sarin gas attacks from 1996. So, it all adds up is what I'm saying.
You got there ahead of me. I was going to make a joke. I was immediately going to cut out of the episode, but you got there ahead of me.
Yeah, no, we were both going the same place.
I thought this was the land of technology. Why is this not all stored in a fucking disposable RFID badge or whatever?
That's the thing. That is the crazy thing, because that is, like I mentioned, that is specifically a problem I encountered with the Shinkansen. For the regular trains, all you do is you go to a vending machine and you get a little card, a little credit card called a Suica card that has an RFID on it, and you fill it up with money, and then you tap it, and you just walk through the turnstile. And here's the crazy thing, is that you can just load it up with money and treat it like a wallet, because the Suica card, in addition to being able to pay for fare at the turnstile, can also be used as a debit card at any store inside any train station. It's wild. It's crazy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. And
that's
can I put
really cool.
my Bitcoin on there, or what are we talking?
No Bitcoin yet. Although I think that if I looked it up,
what coin does it support?
It does support Japan coin, I believe is what it's called.
The Japanese stable coin, Japan coin.
Yeah.
It's not Nippon coin or coin pon.
Koi coin. That's what it's called. It's coin. Coin with a K. Koin. You know what? Actually, we gotta lock that one down right now. Someone's gonna steal that.
We gotta get that one. Nise coin.
Yeah. So that was actually, very cool. I liked realizing that, like, in addition to stores as well, you can just tap your Suica card at vending machines too. Like, it makes everything really, really easy, especially since Japan, like, in terms of dealing with, like, paying for stuff, exists in such a weird dichotomy, because if you're not paying with some kind of, like card, debit card, credit card, whatever, if you're paying with like physical currency, I've never had to carry around so many useless coins in my entire life. They still have 1 cent, not 1 cent, 1 yen, which is more or less equivalent to the concept of the American cent, and 1 cent or 1 yen, 5 yen, 10 yen, and nothing, absolutely nothing uses 1 yen coins, or like 5 yen to be frank about it. Most vending machines I encountered, the smallest coin you could use in it was a 10 yen coin. So, after a while of paying stuff with cash, I just ended up with like literal, like a pocket full of 1 and 5 yen coins that I could put into a sock and swing around like a flail if I wanted to.
Sure. Put them on a little string.
I could put them on a string.
You make a kind of a little jangly thing that hangs off your belt. What do they call those? Tails?
Yeah. Ew. I don't like that. I don't like calling them tails.
A tail? No, like tail, like Tael.
Oh, like a tail, like a yarn.
It was like a value of coins. Like one tail? This is
I've
like
never-
a history thing. You wouldn't get it.
No, I don't pay attention to history. If it didn't happen,
This is like an old thing.
If it didn't happen within the last 5 years, I don't care about it. No, the friend of ours that I was visiting over there, he carries around a nerdy little coin organizer in his wallet.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like what do they have? Like the old style arcades where the employees would have like the little coin distributor thing that they wore around their neck.
Yes. Hey, it's not just that. Parking meter people used to have those. Guys who worked at the front of fairs used to have that shit. They used to be all over the place. Hot dog vendors at baseball parks. Those things were cool as hell if you were 9.
Well, sure, that's where the money comes from. Of course it's going to be cool. But yeah, in terms of trains, they are just leagues ahead of us, really mogging us on this one,
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, low bar.
Yeah, when I get back here and see an American train, I spit in disgust. Patuh. It's a disgrace.
You look around at the trains here, and honestly, 50% of them are like literally from 1930. There's like a gold prospector hanging off the back who didn't get the memo.
Well, there's still gold in them thar hills, I heard. Like, no, that's Nob Hill in San Francisco. There's no gold there. There's maybe some financial bros that you could get some change from, but there's no gold.
And people have finally stopped wearing Levi's too, so it's like game over, man.
You know what? That actually is a good transition to another observation that I noticed over there.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
they're wearing Levi's now.
No jeans. There's no jeans.
Okay, good. Yes, jeans are out.
Jeans are out, man.
Jeans are done.
I saw absolutely 0 jeans, and I saw exactly 0 form-fitting pants in general, if we're being honest. Baggy is in.
By form-fitting, you mean skinny. You mean skinny jeans?
Like skinny jeans, or even like yoga pants. Not so much a thing that I saw a lot of over there. It is, in fact, big flowing baggy pants a la Danny Glover from Predator 2. You need room to breathe down there. I think people got the memo on that one. You need circulation.
Oh yeah, wide leg is fully back. I mean, this is a thing.
Yeah, baggy pants and Crocs. That's the new style.
Oh man, they're rocking Crocs over there.
Yo, yeah.
They're crocking?
Yeah, big time.
Well, they said rock and roll and jeans would never die, and we saw what happened with rock and roll.
Mm-hmm. I was surprised to see, and I don't know if this is like a chicken and the egg situation, but what do you call that like teenage, like middle school teenage edgelord kind of fashion with like the Tetsuya Nomura like 2000s style with chains and like lots of baggy pockets, like No Fear kind of jackets and stuff.
You talking about Hot Topic Y2K?
Yeah, that's having a big resurgence from what I saw over there right now.
Oh, that's here too. I've been seeing the young people wearing that shit.
Early 2000s Midwest emo, very, very
They got
big.
that shit on, for real.
Yeah.
They got that shit on. I see it everywhere. They are like trying to rave, except they only wear them out to trade Pokemon cards.
Yep. So that is also going on over in Tokyo right now from what I saw. And more specifically, I have not seen an equivalent to this in America yet, but be on the lookout. Big, giant Kingdom Hearts shoes. I'm not kidding. I'm not, like 100%. I saw them everywhere. Like huge, oversized, like garishly decorated sneakers.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah. That's what I'm about.
With the full-on pump action and everything. Like it's over there in a big way right now.
Love it. Love that.
Unfortunately, as you saw, you did request me to keep an eye out for, anime collab sneakers. And I did send you some pictures. Not a whole lot of great options, but I did want to get your more in-depth opinion on the stuff that I did send you. I sent you a couple things here. First off, I did encounter the current Bleach collab collection with Puma. You know, we've
Yep.
got with two varieties here. We've got a white and black, where the white on the side of the Puma, the white leather, has been imposed with some comic panels. And then we've got a black and orange motif on these. Now,
Yep.
I don't know about you. I'm not the biggest fan of Bleach. Maybe, way back when. But I think I fell off pretty hard, as did a lot of people after the initial Soul Society arc. But what's your take on these shoes here, Remy?
These ones in particular?
Yeah.
Because, like, Puma at large, we know is the result of a falling out between the Adidas brothers, the Adidasler, etc. Puma is sort of the consolation prize for the lesser brother, and they are, in fact, lesser shoes in general. If you're going to get Pumas, you basically should just upgrade to the Adidas. Like, honestly, at this point in time in history, they're pretty close to the same price, and Adidas are just going to be better stylistically and build-wise. I mean, they all kind of come from the same factory, but just in general, Adidas is going to be better.
Gotcha.
Better brand recognition, better cool. The paneling use is tried and true. This is, there's a reason why people wear those horrifying Ahego sweatshirts, because paneling as a texture, as a fabric pattern, has always been cool. Not that recently anymore, but when Supreme dropped the Akira collab, right, that was huge, and they really had to do very little work. The thing that separates that, and I think what made people who are not that interested in those clothing articles overly critical of them, besides the price, which are obviously horrifying and disgusting and basically insulting to people in general, are that in Supreme's case, what they did was dial in on extremely specific panels and imagery and use just that. For example, one of the images that they use over and over again in that line is the image of Tetsuo getting bandaged up pretty early on by his girlfriend.
Iconic.
Yes, and he's being kind of an asshole to her and all that. And it's a great image, and they'll use it very sparsely on the actual piece of clothing. And that becomes very striking because a black and white panel on like a deep navy jumpsuit or whatever stands out a lot. Whereas on the Ahego sweatshirt and the use of patterning on these Pumas, it's fun, but it is turned into a texture. So you could almost use any anime. It might even be better if you completely just use random panels from a smattering of 80s manga, right?
Sure, that would actually that would be dope.
Yeah, because you're not going to stop and look at one specific panel when it's covered in them. So if this was an epic sequence from early Bleach manga, I wouldn't know, because the amount of panels they've crammed in here are too small for me to even make out if I'm glancing at somebody's shoe, right?
Right.
That is my main criticism of this style of crossover for a shoe and a piece of clothing, is that when you just jam them in, it become the Ahego sweatshirt. And the Ahego sweatshirt actually works better than this because it is literally just a random collage of one particular piece of imagery, right?
It has a more thematic cohesion to it.
Yeah, it has a consistency. So if this shoe, or if you had a sweatshirt that was just Ichigo's facial expressions across the entire series, that's kind of an interesting texture, right? Watching him go through all the his very limited emotions. From what I remember, he's either
he scowls or bored. Sometimes he laughs.
Yeah, he's either bored or angry. That seemed to be 90% of his characterization, if I remember. But that gives you a theme to work off of, and it's just not the kind of collab that I'm particularly interested in. The interesting, on the black and orange pair, What they've done is they've inverted the colors of the panels, and now that creates an interesting look. It has the same problem, but a black and white manga with color subversion is really striking. And you don't see that as often. That's actually kind of cool.
I wonder if these are like, if that's like the hollow version. That's what they called them in Bleach, right? The demon hollows. Was that it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The heartless.
Yeah. I want the heartless shoes from Bleach.
No, the Bleach heartless ones.
No, not the Dragon Ball ones. The heartless ones. All right. Well, we've got a couple more shoes here that I found. I thought these ones looked pretty cool, to be honest. I'm looking at the Fila Ava collection right now, and we've got your classic black, green, purple Ava 1 design,
Yes.
and a much more basic yellow and white Ava 0 with the blue laces, which, I think it looks fine. It's not exactly my favorite color combination. But then the one I found very interesting was at the top here. We've got a red and white Ava 2 Fila with several of the white spaces filled in by a black and white cheetah print.
Yes.
And I thought that was extremely bold. Also, very confusing. I'm not exactly sure if it didn't have Ava 2 printed on the side here, if I would be able to connect that one in particular.
Yeah, can you remind me now, did Ava 2 have a cheetah print at any point in the Evangelion saga? Because I can't seem to bring it to mind.
Yeah. From memory, I'm going to say no. I don't think that Ava 2 ever had a cheetah print. Although, now that I think about it, like a Gyaru glammed out Ava 2 with like big eyelashes and pink leopard print all over it, I might actually fuck with that. That actually might be cool.
You'd be into that?
Yeah.
One of the things that is difficult with the Ava crossovers, especially the ones that mostly just use the color scheme, is that color scheme has been iconic since 1996, right?
Yeah.
So not only can you find every possible Ava crossover in every possible configuration at this point, but also a lot of designers have already been influenced by Ava and Ava aesthetics and Ava colorways to the point where you could find it outside of the cross promotion stuff anyway. So the interesting thing about these Filas to me is that these are downstream from the chunky heel dad shoe trend.
Yes.
That was
yes,
that became pretty popular a little while back, and is now really truly saturated the market. So these Filas are a fifth generation chunky dad heel shoe, right? Ironically bringing them back into aesthete circles, and I have no problem with that. I actually like chunky heel. I'm not personally going to be throwing on 3-inch plastic chunky dad heel, but I have no problem with them. I think lots of outfits look great with that. It similarly dovetails with the Y2K aesthetic.
Yeah.
Which is so huge right now. And of course, I mean, a green purple color scheme is just good. It's just two great colors that go great together.
I mean, worked for the Hulk.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. I think the main problem with these Filas, besides the fact that, again, Fila is sort of a second stringer.
Not to throw any shade, but,
you know. Hey, look, they know it. I know it. Everybody else knows it. We know what the power rankings are with shoes, okay? They're pretty obvious. They're not changing a lot over the years. But the problem is that when I come to a specific collab, something I am paying premium prices for, an anime item of clothing, I'm going to need more than just printing Ava Unit 1 on the side, right? I'm gonna need a little bit more effort put into it. And these shoes, while are fine, if you took off the Ava 2 these and just had these as like, basic colorways for this Fila model, like I think that would be fine. But like when I'm looking for, whatever they attach the extra $60 to, I need something that makes them special, And I don't think these ones have it. I don't think they have it.
Severely lacking in juice. I agree.
Yes. Now, when Bandai Namco, occasionally they do good Gundam crossovers. A lot of it's tacky. A lot of this stuff is tacky in general. But every once in a while, I think Bandai puts out some really fucking dope crossover shoes. Let me link you to some that I really like and are obviously not available in America. The good ones are never available in America, unfortunately. But check these ones out. Tell me what you think of these. Specifically, the Zaku pair on the right, I find to be extremely fucking cool.
Yeah. I mean, they've got kind of a, tech wear kind of aesthetic going on with them. They have this cool strap instead of, it's like a buckle strap instead of laces on them, and an adjustable Velcro up near the top. These are obviously riffing on like a running shoe, like a long distance running shoe. But man,
there's a lot of inspirations here. I mean, the Ultra Boost is a huge one, sort of. They're crossing over with also like a Huarache, and also with a similar kind of like high top Air Force One a little bit, all kind of mixed together. The zipper in particular is a reference to Errolson Hughes' acronym crossover with Nike, which is a great touch, an exposed zipper on the side. You can see the difference is that they've gone like the extra mile here. Like these are striking shoes.
Yeah. No, I'm a big fan of the red and purple motif with the black like highlighting up at the heel and on the strap. I think that's just a great design color combination. I would absolutely fuck with these shoes. These are dope.
Oh, I love them. And of course, like, I have no fucking clue how I'm going to get my hands on these at all. But if you're listening and you want to go check these out, these are by the 361 Degrees, sort of like small batch company that does these crossovers. This is specifically an older line from 2019. But you can look up the Zaku 2 361 degree model. They're fucking awesome.
Yeah. No. Unfortunately,
shit, man,
I didn't see
cool.
I didn't see anything this cool in person. Not pictured here. Well, I did send you a picture of the Naruto Converse collection that I found.
Yes. Yes.
Which, honestly, kind of boring. They got one Converse on here that's the Akatsuki like cloak design, and then a bunch of monotone low heel ones down at the bottom that I think are supposed to be based off of the Naru Sasukura plus Kakashi. So we've got like his green drab like vest color there. Not pictured are the Oshinoko Converse collab that I found, which are very much in the same vein. They're just monocolor single prints meant to evoke the color palette of each of the characters. That was also pretty boring. But yeah, I absolutely did not see any awesome Gundam sneakers while I was there, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, you weren't going into the Japanese version of Shoe Palace very often.
No, I was not.
Yeah.
Although, I did do a fair amount of walking around the big covered shopping streets around Dotonbori in Osaka. And man, if shoes are your thing, there is a tiny little sneakerhead shop every 5 feet in those things.
Yeah, I would kill to see that shit. That is my shit.
They're awesome. Also, big name too. They got Nike stores, Adidas stores. Just nothing that I saw with an active collab like this going on right now.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, if you ever make your way down to Osaka, Onitsuka Tiger is the big designer brand down there. Their stores are always packed. You know, they do a bunch of cool stuff, a lot of cool sneakers, a lot of the, what do you call them? Like bomber jackets with the embroidered designs on the back.
Everybody wants to be driver guy.
Yeah. Driver man. I want to be driver man.
I want to be driver man.
But enough about anime shoes. I think it's time that we get into the real meat of it here, because I went to Japan, so obviously we got to talk about anime, right?
Or pachinko machines.
Or, well, actually, you know, if we want to pivot back to Ava, the sorry state, the sorry state of Ava right now in Japanese advertising. Like, we made fun of it on our commercial episode, like way back when, with the horse racing ad and the razor ad, like the shavers, which I think is still one of the funniest commercials I've ever seen, watching
It's
Gendo
insane.
shave off his beard.
Absolutely fucking insane.
So Ava and Fist of the North Star are by far the two most common things that I saw just in general in advertising there. They're still huge, absolutely massive, going on 25, 30 years old, 40 years old.
Naturally.
But mostly I would see them in relation to the giant pachinko arcades. And I mean that when I say that they just have buildings there filled with floors of nothing but Ava and Fist of the North Star pachinko gambling, like, slot machines. And you see
That's
posters
so
for it.
insane.
You see posters for it everywhere. It's unrelenting. Even in
Yeah.
like the most rural areas that I went to, I would be on the train going through like these town after town of farm villages, like rice fields, and these old ass towns where you can tell it's like the village is 25 buildings and then a big warehouse. And then just fields of rice. And the biggest building you'd always see going along the train route is, you can always tell, like, oh, there's the local pachinko parlor, because it has a giant ass poster of Ken from Fist of the North Star, like in a dramatic pose, not quite looking like he's fighting Ava 1, but kind of like that.
Legally distinct.
Yeah. And it's just like, come on in. We've got your Ava gambling and your Fist of the North Star gambling right here. Everybody shuffle in. It's insane.
Man, that hurts so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, it's a little bit demoralizing. Just considering, like, I don't know. Ava is such a weird cultural spot, specifically for like foreigners who watched it as part of like an Adult Swim thing, and that was their introduction to not only anime but like baby's first philosophy lesson, kind of, and sort of, and then seeing reduced to just an absolute shell of a marketing tactic for the worst things ever. Like, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah. I mean, this has always been something that is a struggle not to bring up anytime somebody talks about Evangelion, because you really shouldn't. If you want to talk about the work, you talk about the work. But it is so hard to not talk about the reality that is constantly intruding on Evangelion, which is that it is the most grossly commercialized product that has ever existed in the anime space. It's just unbearable.
And it's been going on for a long time. Like, we are in a generation of anime watchers in Japan who have never known Ava as anything other than something that appears in a bunch of ads, right?
Yeah. That is aesthetic.
That Ava
like we were
is
talking about.
Yeah, Ava is pure aesthetic. And not in like a, oh, that looks cool way. It's like, no, Ava has been reduced down to something that is just visual content for the most part.
Yeah. It's a look.
it is a look. It is not a story. It's not a series. It's not an anime. It is a multimedia marketing conglomerate.
It's set of cultural signifiers. It's
Yes.
horrible. It's horrible.
Yeah. Now on to an anime that hasn't quite reached that level of being milked for all of its worth yet.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
We'll get there someday.
We'll get there someday.
Fingers crossed.
It is on its way. So I went down to Osaka, and one of the days that I was on my way to Dotonbori, which is like the big shopping district and nightlife district. And I got to Namba Station, and I went out the wrong side exit because I wasn't paying attention. And I'm like, oh, I've done this a couple times already. I know where the fuck I'm going. I don't know where I'm going. If anyone is ever in a public space with me and like we're supposed to be going someplace and I look like I'm just like going there, don't follow me. I do not know what I'm doing.
You definitely don't know where you're going.
Yeah. And so I went out the wrong station exit and I ended up in Namba Park's mall, which is like this giant, like 7-8 level, like shopping pavilion that's got like multi-level tiered like park areas next to the giant shopping building. It's honestly kind of cool, other than the fact that it's a giant monument to the worst type of consumerism. But I'm wandering around wondering how I get back to the main street so I can go over to Dotonbori. And I start seeing posters for, it's a limited time only. Dandadan traveling art exhibit was in a like event space up on one of the floors of the shopping building, and I started seeing posters for it, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. But with my luck, I bet like it's closed already, or I already missed the time frame. But no, I got up there and they were still open, and that was by far like one of the coolest things that I saw on my trip, especially because true to form for an antisocial like me, I did make it there right before they closed for the night, so I was the only person walking through at the time that I went through. I didn't have to deal with goddamn anybody else, and it was glorious. It was the best thing, the best viewing experience in like any kind of museum or art exhibit setting that I've ever had.
Yeah, you got to lick the paintings.
Yeah, no, I got to lick the paintings. I did some poses with the giant figures of the characters they had set up.
Naturally, which you'd be too embarrassed otherwise.
No, it was very interesting to walk through because the way it starts off, it's like one kind of long meandering hallway kind of setup, and you go through different sections. And so the first section you go into is just kind of a big expose with a big section of wall next for each of the main cast members. Starting with Okarun and Momo, and then moving down through the other people that they collect into their group along the way. And each section just has a big kind of... It's got a big text blurb from Tatsuya Endo, I want to say is the author's name, but that's probably wrong.
No, that's the Spy Family guy.
Anyway, it's got a big blurb from the author talking about the different influences that made him want to, they gave him the inspiration for each character, and like collections of handwritten notes talking about all of his thought processes on how he wants to characterize, what he wanted each character to be like. And one thing that I really noticed for each one is that in each section, he talks about either like a different genre of music or a different genre of film or something that he was really into at the time when he had the inspiration for the character.
Yeah. And
then, going beyond that, he's like, all right, this genre of music inspired me to make Okarun, because I wanted him to be like the opposite of all of these like 60s gangster movies that I've been watching. And then from there, he doesn't go like, all right, this is the character. he builds on the fashion of the character first, which I thought was very cool. He goes, all right, this is the character I want. This is how I want them to dress. How do they act based on how they dress, like in day-to-day life? And I thought that was like the dopest shit. Because, you know, along with all of these character notes, he also has sketches, like preliminary sketches of the characters. Like trying them out with different outfits, kind of different poses, what he wants them to look like, what he wants the feel to be like for each one. And it's just really interesting to see the thought process that he puts into stuff like that, you know. And then the next section after that was talking about all of the different inspirations for like the urban legends and yokai and all of that stuff that make up the antagonists and the enemies. You know, and so you get like a pretty clear, it's like, all right, you know, obviously the on the nose ones are like the Loch Ness Monster, you know, the Dover Devil with the punching demon and stuff like that. But then also like, you know, the yokai stuff that Western audiences may be less familiar with. I always have a pretty big soft spot in my heart for the Umbrella Boy yokai. I think that guy's just a bro. Shout out to him. Seems like a cool dude. And then interspersed through all these different sections, you know, you have kind of these big walkthrough displays of like big, close to life-size sculptures recreating some of the more famous panels from the manga. You know, like the cow getting lifted up by the UFO and the first time Okaroon, you know, goes granny mode, stuff like that. It was very, 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 very neat. And then
sick,
kind of near the end of the whole thing, when you get towards the exit, you get a lot more of his notes, a lot more like early sketches or first drafts of panels, like famous panels from the manga. You got to see a lot of his sketchbook stuff. And then also some like direct Q&A blurbs on there. You know, people asking him about his personal life, about his routine. You know, how long does he want to do Dandadan? And to be honest, from all of that, dude sounds pretty stressed out. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I'm very interested in how long he wants to do Dandadan.
I feel okay, so there has been like some pretty heavy story like progression in the last few chapters, and with it I think it's kind of bringing on a sense of wrapping up, at least to me. That's what I feel like we're doing right now. It feels like he's definitely I think he's definitely trying to start reining it in towards some kind of conclusion.
Yeah. We're going to close out soon.
Yeah.
The employees are packing up their shit.
Yeah, I think so. I think that he both got to a point where you were like, all right, the cast is already starting to feel maybe a little bit bloated, and I can't just keep adding people to this. So let's start trying to bring it home. That's just my opinion, but I think maybe we've got less than 50 chapters left. That's my call.
Wow, you're calling it.
Yeah, I'm calling it.
Damn.
But yeah, I don't know. I think that just universally the life of a mangaka is probably kind of bad and doesn't seem fun at all. Like, it doesn't seem fun to me. I don't know why they're doing it. I'm enjoying the product, don't get me wrong. I don't want him to stop. But if I were doing it, I would have stopped ages ago. I would have stopped after the first chapter. I'm that lazy.
I do want him to stop in the same way I do want all of my favorite mangaka to stop, in that I would like them to put a button on whatever the fuck they're working on and not like freak out about some kind of endless revenue stream.
Yeah.
Which destroys all manga and kind of the industry at large. And also, and this is the part that baffles me about people who, you know, become big fans of artists. I want to see what the fuck they're going to do that's not this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Isn't that like exciting to people? Like that is very exciting. Like, wrap this up. Let's see what the fuck you're gonna do next.
I mean, yes, absolutely. It is funny because at the end, you know, once you get out of the exhibit, they give you a little ticket and you have to walk to a merch area that is literally on the other side of the mall from the exhibit. I don't know why they couldn't put them next to each other, but like I got out and I just started walking away, and the clerk at the end like had to run after me and stop me. He was like, "No, you forgot your ticket. Go to the merch area. Way the fuck over there." I'm like, "Oh, okay.
Wait, buy stuff.
You got to buy stuff.
Wait, buy the stuff."
I mean, I was perfectly content. You know, when you buy a ticket for the exhibit itself, it comes with a golden ball keychain, which I found pretty funny.
Gross. That's gross, man. Don't you know what that means?
I don't know, man. It's like a goddamn weapon. It's not even. It's like solid. It's solid metal. It's not even like a hollow thing.
Yeah?
It's hefty. Like you could hurt
It's got a
somebody
weight
with that.
to it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. No, it is
That's
pretty
actually
cool. But I did go over to the merch section, and they did have volumes of Tatsuya's first manga, which I think only ever released one volume as a tankobon. And when you look at it just from the cover, you can tell that it was more or less just a dry run at doing Dandadan. It was about psychic kids, just without all the ghost stuff.
Sure.
And the characters are more or less the same. You know, the two main characters are an Okaroon and a Momo. And Momo looks pretty much identical as she does in her Dandadan counterpart form. So,
Yep.
you know, but I don't think that he's done anything else that got like full on syndication. I think Dandadan was his big out of the park hit.
Yes, this is a thing we've remarked upon about the Marvel phenomenon, being that they will just pluck people who have had kind of an interesting artistic success early in their career and then just plug them into the massive fucking Marvel machine, so that their second or third movie they've ever commercially released is like a $500 million fucking comic book movie.
Yeah.
And obviously not one-to-one to these situations, but picking up guys who have made like one pretty interesting, successful like short story or whatever, winning an award, and then plugging them in directly into this like massive franchise machine at the bigger magazines is becoming more and more common. Alongside what's becoming more and more common is immediately dropping shit that does not become a superstar within 5 to 10 chapters.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know, I think the state of the manga publishing world is, dare I say, in a bit of a bubble right now. And I think that they're definitely kind of waiting on something to shake up the format a little bit. I think probably that something is going to be like online comics and manhwa, right? You know, I think that's like the next... the tankobon release system almost feels archaic at this point.
I mean, the future seems murky, as the 8-Ball says. But I can be sure of one thing, that whatever comes next is going to be worse.
Well, I mean, yeah, nothing ever gets better.
That is the promise of the future to us.
I mean, that is the death spiral. It's always going down.
It is the death spiral. We are fully in it.
Yeah.
We are fully in it, people.
So that was probably the coolest like anime related thing that I found on this trip. And I did it totally by accident. I wish I could say that like I actually had full awareness of my surroundings and I do stuff fully out of intention. But no, I'm just like a clueless dude who wandered into something cool because I made a mistake on which exit to go out. I did then spend like 40 minutes trying to get out of this mall. Exits are not clearly marked at all. I would be following exit signs up until the point I literally ran into like a Backspaces style tiled hallway with just a dead end at the end of it.
They were trying to trap you and starve you to death.
Yeah. It's like a House with Leaves situation. It's gonna pull me into another dimension.
Castle. Yeah, it's the Ninja Castle. You just endless. Yeah, it's like Winchester Mystery House, but for gaijin. You just trap you instead of the ghosts.
Besides that, my trip was full of the standard, white guy traveling by himself kind of stuff. I wandered around, did some public drinking, kind of went into various random restaurants that I had no idea what they were. Kind of fumbled my way around buying some souvenirs to take home. Very, very metered, very, very low stakes kind of situation. I did not want to get into any kind of danger, which is, brings me to the final notable point of my trip. I did spend a couple days in jail right at the end there. I was doing so good. I did slip up, and I did say maybe what could be considered some disparaging words against Otani in audible range of a police officer, and they did not like that. Let me tell you, it is in fact actually illegal to badmouth Otani over there right now.
Didn't they? Isn't that the stamp on the passport? It's a specific warning right now.
I made a crude joke, and I want to take this time to apologize to the Japanese people. I in no way believe that Otani had any kind of prior knowledge or involvement in the gambling and money laundering schemes, which were done entirely by his translator. No questions. It was definitely that guy. I just want to be clear about that. Otani, 100% innocent of those charges. He is a good man. He is a kind man. He is a hero to the children all over the world.
And so how was the embassy?
Well, after they pulled me out of the jail, they were a bit stern. But it turns out happens way more than you think. Which makes sense if we're honest, but they have a whole section now. It's kind of like a little club. It's like, oh, hey, you got pulled in for making fun of Otani too? Oh, well, welcome to the club, dude. We had drinks together.
The other Americans are just using that one. They're just saying that. Oh yeah, me too. Yeah, that's what they got me in for.
I was making fun of Otani too. I am Spartacus.
I did that. Yeah, that's what I did. That's the bad thing I did. I'm sure yoinking Americans out of Japanese jails is purely automated process at this point for them, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so you didn't watch any anime?
Not while I was actively over there. No, actually, no, I take that back. I do take that back. I did rewatch the Look Back movie on the plane on the way there. But as far as actively watching anime, I did not. I take that back again. I kept up with Jujutsu Kaisen while I was there, but not on live television. It turns out, for whatever reason, all of the anime comes on super fucking late on TV over there. I could not catch a single episode. Every time I turned on the TV in my hotel room in the morning or whatever, it was either like morning talk shows, of which I mean, like they had like the prank shows where they have the little reaction bubble up in the corner. Still super popular, still absolutely huge. It was either those or the news or historical dramas. Those are the three. And a fourth type of show, which is old people going to a rural restaurant and making yummy noises as they eat food.
Oh God, I hate that.
Yeah,
I hate that so much.
Absolutely bananas. How ubiquitous that last format is on TV. It is either historical dramas or some old guy going oishi. Or sometimes they make a satisfied moan after taking a big sip of tea. And they go, But yeah, bafflingly, I was not able to catch a single episode of anime live.
And you didn't go to the theater?
No, I didn't go to the theater. They didn't have any active anime plays going in Shinjuku when I was there. I think the most that I saw was I saw advertisements for the live action Tokyo Ghoul stage play that is coming this summer, but nothing actively going on. When I was in Osaka, they had some local theater advertisements for something that I was play I was unfamiliar with, which really sucks because the last time I was there a few years ago, they were doing the Beetlejuice musical in Japanese, and I thought that sounded like buck wild, but I wasn't able to go to that one either.
Wow.
I know.
You're missing out.
I know. I feel like I spent my time well. You know, I took in the sights, I took in the culture. More than anything, like, even if I had been in the opportunity to like watch like just an episode of something on an anime on TV, I would kind of feel weird about doing it because like, and I say this with as much grace and love as I can, but the way anime is presented and advertised over there, and this is like just an extrapolation of what we were talking about with Ava, right? But it's like, it's not just Ava, it's everything. If people have heard of it, you can find some kind of ad or poster or commercial or tie-in product for it at any given time. And after a while, like after a week there, you kind of get sick of it. Like,
sure.
Like yes. I did, you know? And it's such a weird thing considering when I was like 13, 14, first like really getting into anime, like understanding like, oh shit, there's this like whole genre of like cartoons from Japan that have like swearing and blood and action and like cool guys doing shit. And I was so gobsmacked by the concept of it.
Swearing?
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 You know, I was just like so like taken aback by the newness of it. And so when I would go to places like Japantown in San Francisco and get even like the smallest like smattering of that kind of level of commercialization and ubiquitousness within the culture, I would be like, oh, this is amazing. This is nerd paradise. They've got posters and action figures and you know, DVDs and all the stuff for this new thing that I like. And it's like going there as a 36-year-old adult and spending a week there of just nonstop, in your face, constant, like having like anime schoolgirls in provocative poses at every turn in these major shopping districts, and seeing all of the like sexy figures that you can win from claw machines just straight up, like, you know, just around everywhere.
Yeah,
it's exhausting, honestly.
It's mind-numbing.
It's mind-numbing.
Do you think being constantly exposed to that at all times could have an effect on the broader culture?
No, I don't see how it could. I don't see how that's possible. No. If
there anything, are no cultural values.
I don't think that anyone's been ever influenced by advertising ever. You know, advertising is our friend, Remy. Advertising is good. It tells us what to buy. It tells us what we want and why we want it, so that we don't have to spend precious brain calories making those decisions for ourselves. Like, how is that not a net positive for society? You know, and if the advertising consists mostly of half-naked high school girls, like, you know, that's just A-okay. That's not a problem at all.
You know, it is very time-consuming, tiring, calorie-burning to have to decide things for yourself.
Yes.
And I think one of the beautiful things about anime is that you can just let other people decide every single thing for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just decide what general vibe you want to go for. Isekai, shonen, rom-com, whatever, and you just sit down, put it on the screen, and consume. It's as easy as that.
I just love having a truly miasmic, consolidated piece of media that will tell me what's beautiful, what's ugly, what's good, what's bad. I just want to play video games and eat McDonald's and not worry about this kind of stuff,
Yeah. Well, that does actually bring me to a final point that I do want to end on here. The McDonald's is better.
Yes, I know. Everybody knows. McDonald's, America is the worst McDonald's in the world somehow. We've fucked up our own. There are only two American art forms, jazz and McDonald's, and white people took over jazz, and McDonald's sucks the most in America. I don't understand how we've let all of this shit happen to us. And we don't have the trains. Mm-hmm. I'm bringing it all the way back. We don't have the trains. We don't have the trains.
We should have the trains. We used to have trains. You know that? We used to have trains. Now we have no trains.
I don't know why you came back. I don't know why you came back.
Well, I came back because they made it very clear with a lot of their political messaging that they don't want me there for very long. And, I felt inclined to oblige them.
Fuck.
Yeah, that was the general impression of my trip to Japan. It was a lot of fun, but I mean, in the same way that, I can only assume that places like Vegas are fun, in that it is a lot of bright lights and buying stuff. And that is, of course, very specific to just hanging around Tokyo, going to Shinjuku and Akihabara and the big shopping districts. Obviously, if you, unlike me, are brave enough to venture out of the multicultural metropolitan, you do get to see smatterings of what the actual countryside is like, and a much more toned down and less
traditional
busy
Japan.
Yeah, traditional
that
Japan.
Everyone is fleeing to the city.
Yes. I mean, I'm just saying that still exists. Obviously, the big caveat here is that my experience is that of a tourist who went there to have a good time and buy souvenirs and do fun stuff.
You're a disgusting profiteer.
Exactly. I am not a wage slave. I do not know what the day-to-day life is like over there. So, anybody that actually lives over in Japan, minus that one guy, you know who you are. If you want to leave a comment and dispute any of these claims I'm making, feel free. I would love to hear from you. Again, except if you're that one guy and you know who you are, then don't comment, because I've already talked to you about it.
Well, let's never discuss this again.
Agreed. It was a silly place.
Oh, what a silly place. Let's go back to pretending that it's a fantasy land that only exists in the cartoons we watch.
It's much easier to have a formed opinion on Japan when you only consume their media and in isolation to everything else about their country and culture. That's really the way to do it.
Yeah, let's go back to that.
Yeah, all right. Next time we're going back to just anime. We're going to talk about all of the trash manga that I read on the plane, and we'll, do another update on some of the premieres that we've been watching.
Deep into the season, we'll talk about some more.
Hey, at this point, we're basically just an episode 1 review cast.
Shit.
That's just the format that we are. So timeline doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, folks. Do the stuff, like and subscribe. YouTube, follow us on Instagram. I'm going to be making some posts there.
Yeah.
Until next time,
Bye. whenever Hitman has to check into a hotel or give somebody an ID, his fake identity is Tobias Reaper. It fucking rocks. It's so funny. Mr. Reaper,